Hello, this is Watch It All About for another video review. This time we're looking at the Sterile Submariner, or it's also known as a Parnis. So let's have a look into seeing if this watch, which is probably worth, you can find it for $60 or $70, if it's worth that, which obviously is very cheap for an automatic watch. So, looking closely, it is a very good representation of the Submariner, but it also has some aspects of the deep sea sea dweller as well, the DSSD. You see this little supposed helium valve on the side, which I highly doubt is a working helium valve. It's just there just to look good. If we look, you see it's completely sterile. No logos or anything on anything, so Clasp is completely sterile. Caseback, again, completely sterile. No etching around here, nothing on the crown either. Obviously, nothing at all on the dial either. So you can get higher specs, but this is a very base spec. So it's got an Asian automatic movement run at 21.6 kbph, so that's 6 ticks a second. A mineral crystal as well. So it has the Mercedes hands, very much like a Submariner. Lume isn't particularly good, as in all of these cheap Chinese watches. It is there, but it doesn't last very long, and it doesn't charge very well either. There's a little bit of lume on the pip at 12 as well. The crystal, the mineral crystal, has a nice dome to it. You'll see as we slowly go around it. It keeps good. You can view the dial well due to the curvature until about here, when it starts to go all funny. But yeah, it gives you good legibility of the dial. If I bring it a little bit closer, I'll get the macro lens in a short while. But it has this nice rehaut as well, made of steel, which gives an extra level to the dial, bringing the dial up towards the crystal. So that's nice. I do like that. Usually on a Rolex it would have writing along there, around there. The bezel is okay. There is a poor bit of quality control up near the pip, which I'll show you later. There's a couple of tiny dents in it, which is a shame. And the actual ring around the bezel, it's actually quite sharp, but it is easy to spin. So it doesn't particularly hurt or anything like to spin it. It's just a bit sharper than normal. There's a tiny bit of give on the bezel, but nothing shocking. The movement, so as I unscrew the crown, screw in crown, pops out. Can easily, there's a bit of wobble there, you see that, but there's nothing to worry about. It's just a reasonably cheap movement, isn't it? And then if I pop it in, I can change the date, and then I can push this back in and screw it back up. So I mean, for $60, $70, it's nothing you can particularly complain about. I do like the polished stainless steel surrounds to the hour markers, as on a Submariner. It gives it a nice little sheen as you get the light right, and also the dial, even though it looks matte, it's actually quite reflective, as you can see. So that makes it look quite nice and expensive when you get the light just right. The bracelet itself is reasonably well made, actually. Solid end links, surprisingly, and nice. It's nice and flexible. Easy to resize as well, thanks to the screws. I didn't have any problems resizing it at all. The clasp is okay. It's not a double locking clasp. It's just the one which you just literally pull it and it pops open, and you push it and it closes. So not the most secure, but it is quite stiff. So it's not going to pop off on its own. You'd have to catch it on something for it to actually pop off. But it is a very nicely finished clasp. As you can see, the whole bracelet has got the brushed outer links and then the polished center link, which is nice. It is very nicely finished and well done bracelet. There's no sharp edges or anything like that. So let me pop it on so you can have a quick wrist shot. Let's put that back in focus. As you can see, it has a nice substantial presence to it. It does look very good on. It looks more expensive than it is when you're just wearing it. I had one of my work colleagues put it on for the day for him to have a feel of it, and whenever I caught sight of him wearing it, I thought, wow, it actually does look very good. It's always hard to imagine what it looks like when you're wearing it yourself, but when someone else is wearing it, you can see how it matches up with the general presence of someone. So yeah, very impressive. It looks great on, and it's got quite a good hefty weight to it as well. So it's a nice big chunk of stainless steel. So it is quite impressive when you wear it. Let's just take it off. So Caseback, nothing exciting. It is a screw-in Caseback. It's quite tightly done, so I can't actually undo it with my hand, which is quite good. And it's just a classic Rolex Caseback, really. You usually have engravings around there and a hologram or a sticker on the back. Okay, so let me put the macro lens on, and then I'll show you it in greater detail. Alright, well, let me get this fluff off first. Okay, so date window. See, the printing is very well done on the date window, actually, on the actual date wheel. The window itself, when you look at it this close, you can see it is a little bit shabbily cut, but that's not something you'd notice in everyday life. Looking at the hour markers, they're all nicely finished, and the hands themselves as well, nicely machined, and the loom is evenly distributed on it. See the hour markers there. And the running date trackers, running minute tracker as well. Let's have a look at the bezel now. So these minute markers are just painted on. When you look at it to the naked eye, they do look well finished. Nothing to complain, but when you do look at it under a macro lens, you can see there are some flaws, but these aren't particularly big deals. Let's look at the pip. If I can get that, go on. You can't see it very well, but there is a couple of tiny dents just here. See that one there, and another one just here as well. Just see it. And this is the edging. This is the supposed helium release valve, which I bet doesn't actually do anything. And if I go over here to the crown, see, it is reasonably well machined. Look at the machining, the general machining of the case. Polished side, you can see my nice finger marks. Nicely machined. And the clasp, again, nicely, rub that off. Nicely machined, brushed outer edges, and the polished center link. Same for the links in general, for the bracelet itself as well. So let me take this off now. So for $60 or $70, it is a great watch. I would recommend one if you want a Submariner on a budget. So it does have a good look to it. Obviously this design is tried and tested for many years. It has some good heft behind it and substantial weight, and it also has good wrist presence as well. Okay, so that's the end of this video review.